conference. Gray's got that shape.
You could just tell Ezra Gray was going to have a good game today after what he did against Florida State.
And Ezra Gray is going to be Ezra Gray.
I like the way that Ezra Gray has run the football, lowering his shoulder, not afraid of absorbing contact.
Thank you, Ezra, for coming on. Man, that was such a great introduction. I feel bad that we didn't have the highlight film for Brett. No hard just in the chat. But Ezra, man, we're excited to have you on. Man. What a career for Alabama State out there in Montgomery. And my first question is, you're an all-around playmaker. You've done it all: caught passes, return kicks, took handoffs in the backfield. Like, what is your favorite thing to do? To make plays.
Oh man, first and foremost, I appreciate y'all having me and everything. I just hate that y'all had to put me right behind Brett, because you already know Brett. He a tough act to follow, man. I've been with him the whole time at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. He a great guy, man. I love hanging out with Brett and really just picking his mind on things. But man, I'd have to say the most fun part for me is really just being able to have the ball in my hands when I have some space. Even at Alabama State, they have me running between the tackles a lot, which is cool. I like to make cuts and things like that. But when I'm in a position, where I can really just get rolling and show off my speed and really, just make that one cut and go, I feel like those are the moments that I kind of shine the most.
No, I mean, I totally agree. And I mean, I'm going to take one of Jackson's phrases, he always mentions a guy that's great in space, and that is, definitely an obvious way to put it for you guys. I got to say one thing though, I went to the Turkey Day Classic, to the 4-hour drive from Augusta to Montgomery, and did not get to see you play. So I'm kind of heartbroken over that. But hopefully I'll get to see you at an NFL stadium near me, whenever that time comes to be. So I'll throw it to Coach Grove, and then we'll just go back around counterclockwise with our questions.
Cool.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, Coach Grove?
I don't know, man. We got to talk for a brief at the game when you were down there. And on top, I'd just like to start off with your experience, man. We know how you came down and were allowed to come and have interviews with the scouts and whatnot. What was your experience like getting the invite to come down and
It was most definitely a humbling experience for me. Even with me being kind of bruised up and banged up from the season, you guys were still had mercy on me and still allowed me to come to the bowl game and being able to interact with the scouts as well as the rest of the players, and really just the way we were treated there. Everybody was treated with respect. We weren't treated as second class players or something like that of that nature. We were really at a bowl game, and I definitely enjoyed the opportunity there. And while I was there, just being able to network and connect with a lot of scouts who have they came to games to see me throughout the season, but they were at the bowl, scouting all the surplus of talent that you guys have brought out there. Me just being able to network a little bit and talk with them so they could get to know more about me, not only as a player, but as a person, and I felt like I made a lot of great connections while I was out there. So with you guys putting on a platform like that, it's something, a blessing to have. I couldn't really ask for much more than that.
Man, that's pretty awesome. Glad to hear that, man. We appreciate it. The second question would be, you got all the attributes. We can talk all day about speed, quickness of speed, and I'll ask you a similar question as I asked Brett. When you talk about putting you in the slot or putting you out as a receiver, what's your comfort level with the deep ball? I see they throw you the ball. You can't catch, you can run, and you block. You're not afraid of contact, and both of you guys possess all those things with the processing skills out of the backfield, creating your own way when there's no way, making a decision to go for 3, even though that 3 is through 2 or 3 other people, rather than take a loss. So comfortability as a back that has the speed that you have downfield on a deep ball, what's your comfort level?
Not
you
sure if we're
get me?
experiencing some technical difficulties.
Ezra, did you hear it? Yeah, we must be. Somebody see if they can get him.
All right, so we'll try to work with Ezra right here, but I guess he said he can't hear.
Okay.
Okay. Well, while we try to figure that out, so I guess continuing this discussion with Ezra Gray. So sort of who's your pro comparison? We did this last week with each of the players that appeared. So what is your pro comparison of Ezra Gray? And for me, this might be a cop out, might be an easy one. He's going to try to come back in, so might be an easy one. So I think I see Tariq Cohen in Ezra Gray. Just a diminutive back, really explosive, returns kicks, great in space. And I think it's an easy comparison too, where a lot of teams want that type of human joystick type player on their team, and hopefully Tariq Cohen finds his footing with another team, which I'm certainly sure that he will.
Absolutely, that's where I went with it, Jackson. I was actually that was my not Jackson, Omar. That was my exact comparison was Tariq Cohen. Cohen, man. Now granted, Ezra is a little bit bigger than Tariq Cohen. Now I think now he's still got potential to put on some weight to his body. I think he's still a guy that probably when he gets into the NFL is probably gonna want to land himself in that 190, 195 pound area there. But he can do all of the same things. I think if anybody's missing, on him and the comparison to a Tariq Cohen, then I think they're missing the boat. I was looking at the film today. So I went back and I watched Tariq Cohen's film. Then I come back and I watch Ezra's film, and I don't see a whole lot of difference, man. They're both making plays the same types of ways, kick game plays, out of the backfield reception plays, running inside and getting on the edge type running style. And both guys, are very very comparable to each other. I think if an NFL team is looking, if you got to be looking at HBCU guys who have had success at the next level, then I don't see how you're not looking at an Ezra Gray. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying for me, it popped off the screen so eloquently today, and I just say this is a guy that probably could do the same type of thing. Gets in the right situation, he can probably be that guy that has a 5-year plus type NFL career. I think he's as much as I say Brett was the most productive guy, as much as I have said that Kingston Davis is a pro style body guy. I think that Ezra Gray is about as well rounded of a guy when it comes to being able to play at the next level as we have seen in a long time. So I'm excited and hoping some people, give him the opportunity he deserves.
Yes, we have Ezra back, and I hope you're able to hear our comparisons to Tariq Cohen. So hopefully you heard that. We saved that segment we were going to save it for later, but of course you had to improvise, like Randall Cunningham on a scramble. But so I guess we'll go back to questions. Coach Grove, I believe you were asking the last question.
Just for the sake of time, Ezra, what I was trying to get at with everything that you do on the field with the electrifying speed, the vision, the processing speed, all those things you do, special teams, and matching you up against, people, in the Power Fives, and you're talking about running up against an Auburn or running up against a Florida State. When they put you in the pass game, how do you feel, and what is your comfort level when it comes to the deep ball in the passing game? How do you feel at that, as that part of your game?
Oh, I feel very confident in it. Coming out of high school and everything, I was an athlete pretty much, but I played most of my work at defensive back and receiver in high school. And actually, when I got to Alabama State, initially I was in the receiver room. I thought I was going to be with the receivers when we reported there in the summer. But when all the coaches got there, they said, "Nah, Ezra, we really want you at running back." So, of course, I obliged to that. But I knew a transition period like this would be inevitable with my size not fitting the exact prototypical NFL running back size. I knew a lot of my money would be made playing in other positions like special team and out wide in the slot as well. So throughout all the off seasons, I would always work on my route running. I've always had pretty good routes, natural hands, speed to throttle down and adjust myself. But really working with some of the receivers and the coaches on our staff, I felt like it helped me become that much better when it comes to the technical side of things. As far as, like little things, getting in and out of your breaks, making precise cuts, and realizing how to utilize the speed. I've always been a fast guy, but one thing that I really couldn't control was the speed of my routes. I was wondering why sometimes the timing would be off with the quarterback kind of throwing the ball behind me and different things of that nature and stuff like that. But then I realized, you got to throttle the speed and know when to use it. So just different
Yeah.
things like that. I felt like my game has really it helped my game evolve over time. So as far as catching deep balls and things like that, man, that's what I do. That's my wheelhouse. So it's just it's good to see that I'm being acknowledged as being able to play at receiver as well and not just in the backfield.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. It pays dividends, and I would like to congratulate you on the academic side as well, man. The carrier 4.0 through college is pretty awesome.
I appreciate that, coach.
Yeah, I'm good, folks.
I just got this. I'm gonna add this one on because we just talked about the comparison to Tariq Cohen. Although I feel like you're bigger than he is, but I think as far as height, I think you're taller than he is. But I would ask you, what's your feel, from being at our game and having a chance to network to actually going down and being in front of guys working out at the HBCU Legacy Bowl? What feel for what teams are thinking? Do you feel like people, are kind of understanding what you can do and what you can bring to a team?
Oh, most definitely. And it's crazy because the a lot of the scouts that I saw at the Pigskin Showdown are some of the same scouts I saw at the Legacy Bowl as well as the HBCU Combine. So being able
Yeah,
to get to talk to them, it was less of them being able to just meet me and more of a, hey, what I'm saying, Ezra, how's it going? How are things going in training and things like that? What can we expect to see from you and things of that nature? And really just talking to the scouts and getting a good feel for them. All of it is a matter of the numbers that I put up at this pro day. They've seen me participate in the season on the field. They've seen me showcase a little bit of things at the HBCU Combine as well, and then they got to see a little bit more of what I could do at the Legacy Bowl throughout the week of practice. But now's the pro day. Now it's like the make it or break it time. So they're evaluating a lot of stuff of me. The main thing they want to see, of course, is the 40-yard dash. But another thing they want to see is, how can I perform under pressure? When it's a moment like this, guys, this is, like I like to say, this is probably the biggest job interview you'll have in your life.
yeah,
And me being able to go and showcase what I can do in front of them will really just be a validation to the thoughts that they already kind of have of me. He's a fast guy. He seems to be able to catch the ball pretty well out of the backfield, but I want to show how I can really do in my route running in the slot as well. So throughout my training, that's really what I've been doing at Chip Smith Sports over there in Georgia. I've been coached with Tavares Kings, one of the best, coming out of Georgia, and he really just nailed down in our heads, we made it to this point for a reason, and I firmly believe that God hasn't brought me this far to leave me, and his will really is going to be done on that pro day. So it's really no pressure on me. It's all a matter of going out and having fun and just showcasing what I can do.
that's absolutely right. Good luck with that. That was going to be my last question, was who you're training with. And so since you told us that, what are you working on the most with those guys?
Oh man, we've been doing a lot of resistance training when it comes to the speed aspect of things. Some of the bands he has, and it's crazy because Coach Chip Smith, I know they say he's the godfather of the NFL combine workouts and stuff like that, but like some of the stuff like he like created, which was crazy to me. Like he had some type of resistance bands that I really can't even describe that were kind of like connected to the wall when I came in there, and like day one, he was out there dogging us like day one, like it had a real good warm up, and we got straight to work. So really just being able to train around the guys that I was training with, I trained with a couple of HBCU players as well. James Houston was over there, Akil
Yep,
Glass was over
yep,
there,
yep.
Kamar Bridges, we were all over there, and that it's just something about the HBCUs. It's just that camaraderie. It's like it's just different, and with us being over there, of course, we trained with a lot of pro guys as well that gave us a lot of pointers and tips on what we should be doing. But the main emphasis was on making sure we were really in the best shape of our lives. And with us training, that hard, of course, I had a couple of like nicks and kind of nagging soft tissue injuries, but now I feel fine. I feel healthy, and now I'm back home training with my speed coaching trainer that I use back home. So at this point now, like I said, it's just that throttling down the calm before the storm.
That's right. That is right. Go ahead, Jackson. I'm taking up your question time.
No problem, Coach. Ezra, first of all, thanks so much for coming on. Ezra, I don't know if you saw Travis Hunter, the number 1 overall recruit of this recruiting cycle, committed over Florida State, where he was previously committed, and of course a bunch of other Power 5 schools. You actually did it before it was a trend, though. We're seeing a bunch of these guys who's at HBCUs. Man, you had offers from Oregon, Boston College, USF. What went into you choosing Alabama State and an HBCU over some of these Power 5 schools?
Oh man, Alabama State. It was actually a crazy story how I even ended up at Alabama State. It initially started Cleo. It initially started, with my official visit. Coach Alan Suber at the time was the coach recruiting me, and I believe I was supposed to go on an official visit to South Carolina State. And I called Coach Suber had called me, and then I talked to him, and then he was like, "Oh no, man, you coming to Alabama State, man? We need you here right now. Like Coach Jenkins, like he's expecting you to be here." And then I'm just kind of like, "Coach, how y'all gonna tell me, where I'm gonna be?" But then, then I got to the point I was like, you know what, y'all want me there that bad, man. It's obviously a good sign, like that they really want me. So I was like, I talked to my parents about it, and they were like, why not just go ahead and take your official there, and then with South Carolina State, you could take that another time. So then I told the coach, I'll be there. So the next day I was there, and the official visit, it just blew me away. The guys that I was visiting with, like who were in my class coming in, we all kind of had that same mindset. Like, yeah, we have vision to what's going on. The HBCUs aren't big right now, but we're gonna be in the position to really turn this thing up and make it big and go out here, and make something of ourselves from the school. So we all kind of had like minds going into it, and throughout our time at Alabama State, pretty much like exactly what we did. But as far as going into my decision, it felt like home. It was down south, and I love the weather down south. And talking to Coach Jenkins, he really had an impact on my life. Just talking to him, and he understanding, him being a Florida boy himself too. He kind of understood, my lingo and the way to come at me and things like that, and I could really respect that. And my family, they had a good perception of Alabama State's program as well, and the facilities was top notch. They Alabama State has wonderful facilities. So when I went there, it just felt like home. So I said, why not choose this place that treats me as a 5-star rather than kind of go somewhere and be tolerated as just another guy. So Alabama State, they like me, and they wanted me to play right away. So I said, why not?
I love it, man. That's awesome. You get to play on day one, and they clearly had a vision for how they were going to use you, which is awesome. And Ezra, you have thrived at Alabama State. I'm sure glad you chose them over anyone else. I can't imagine a better result anywhere else. Man, I'm always fascinated in the draft process with guys that have played multiple sports in high school. I know on this show that's something we're really big on, that, hey, if you are in high school right now, play multiple sports. It really helps you. Man, you lettered in track and field and weightlifting in high school. I'm curious, your multi-sport experience, what maybe contributed the most to your success in the football field from other sports?
Growing up, I'm really in a big sports oriented family. My dad, he went to state in track and field for the I think the 100-meter and the high jump. My brother, he's a 5-star running back, I think like the number 2 running back in the nation when he was coming out. And then another brother, he was a DB at Troy before going on to play for the Detroit Lions, and then spending some time in the CFL as well. and it's really just kind of been like instinct. God's really blessed us with a lot of different talents, gifts, and abilities, but sports was just one of the things that we shined at the most and really just happened to really love. So when I got to high school, it wasn't more so a matter of, okay, I'm gonna do this in order to get better at football in this area, that area, but it was really, my love of the sport. Growing up, I played baseball as well, but I didn't, I wasn't fortunate enough with the opportunity to be able to have the time to play it in high school. But I do feel like all of those sports kind of played a role in my whole athletic makeup, because it's some things that are just different, I believe, when you see certain guys who thrive on the football field. And when I say that, I kind of mean the fact that a guy's a football player, and then a guy who's like an athlete. And you can really see that on the field. Like, even when it comes to receivers, when you see in the way that a receiver will high point a football and different things like that, you can tell, okay, he probably plays basketball as well. And just different things like that. I thought about it after the fact, after the recruiting process, like, hey, these sports have really helped me help my all around game. But at the time, I was just looking at it as like, hey man, I just love these sports.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. You're doing it for the love of the sport that you're playing, and it certainly helps you with the field and brings a lot of diversity in your background into your skill set, right? That's awesome. And Ezra, thanks so much for coming on. I'm a Bucks fan. I'm getting a little nervous that we haven't signed Lenny, so if you find yourself safe jersey to buy, I think. So.
Oh, man, that boy Brady just came back too, man.
Right? Yeah, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ezra. We appreciate you. My mother's an Alabama State grad, so we always pulling for you Hornet guys, man.
Yes, sir. Bama State.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
Thank you, Ezra. And I appreciate using this platform to share your testimony for the Lord. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, I appreciate y'all having me. As soon as y'all reached out, I already knew no brainer. Like, I'm coming on the show. Like, whether I have to train or not, I'm coming. Like, I actually just got back from training, but I had to make sure I came back on the show to show some support to y'all, man. So I appreciate everything that y'all have done for us, the platform you guys have provided us with, and even Coach Williams and Coach Grove, y'all talking to me and helping me understand, this whole Pigskin Showdown isn't about a competition of we want to be the biggest HBCU platform, but it's more about the players, getting the players the most exposure that they can get. Now I really appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, everything y'all have done for us.
Appreciate you saying that. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck, young fella.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.
Yep.
With that, another impressive guest, and we still got two more, man. We've been going for 40 minutes. We still got two more guests. Told you it was a jam-packed session. Our next guest, I guess before going to our next guest, we're improvising a bit and doing the pro comparisons. Jackson, I know that you had a pro comparison for Ezra Gray. I want to know what it is.
Actually, no, I did not.
Oh, I was not. Okay.
In my pro comparison, I was actually going to say I'm having a hard time finding one because he's such a unique player. He ran a 4.31 40 in high school, which is ridiculous for a running back. He, like I previously mentioned, he lettered in track and field and weightlifting. He's a low mileage back, only had 100 carries last year, Omar. Like, that's something you look at, especially at that position. And he does not have a lot of wear and tear on him. He's phenomenal as a kick returner. It got called back because of a penalty, but against Auburn, so SEC competition, he had a kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown.
So, yeah. So, man, he's a little bit of everything. And just like he is on the shorter side for a running back. He's 5'9", I believe, so a little bit taller. But, man, phenomenal kick returner. Like I said, low mileage. He is fast. He's strong. Man, there's nothing not to like about him. And, man, that was music to my ears. We was talking about he knew in high school the importance of special teams and playing as a slot receiver, as a running back. That's stuff you can't teach. That's motivation teaching, man. I can't wait. He is going to be a playmaker in August and a solid contributor, I believe, in the league from there on.